Om Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tama Gocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmyam. We have been studying Sri Shankaracharya's Viveka Chudamani, and last time we read up to Shloka 353. But the word Samadhi has first occurred in Shloka 341. And about that Samadhi, Shankaracharya goes on telling up to 366. So the topic in 341 to 366 is the necessity of Nirvikalpa Samadhi for the realization of the goal of life. So we go back a little to 341. Sarvatma Siddhaye Bhiksho Kruta Shravana Karmana Samadhim Vidadat Tesha Shanto Danta Iti Shruti. The aim is Sarvatma Siddhi. We have to become the self of all. That is Sarvatma Siddhi. Bhiksho or the sannyasi. Kruta Shravana Karmana. One who has done the work of Shravana. One who has heard about the nature of Atman. That means the hearing is equivalent to dharana. A concept has arisen, a sort of an idea, a feeling has arisen. So, for one in whom the concept has arisen, if he is a sannyasi and he wants to achieve Sarvatma Siddhi, then the Shruti, the Upanishads, by the word Shanto Danta Iti, that he has to control his mind, he has to control his indriyas. Through this shloka, Samadhim Vidadati ordains that he should have Samadhi. You will find that in the English translation, the Samadhi word is left as it is, because there is no English equivalent to that. We may try to explain it by absolute absorption. Concentration is a poor word. That is the yogic word. In Vedanta, the Samadhi, Nirvikalpa Samadhi, is that state where other than Brahman, there is no Vikalpa. No Vikalpa means nothing of the world is real, and I, the sadhak also, is unreal. The world is an appearance of Brahman, the sadhak is under appearance of Brahman. And so the only thing remains is Brahman. So when in the consciousness, nothing else remains other than Brahman. That state is called Nirvikalpa Samadhi. And that has been ordained, that has been prescribed by Upanishads for a person who, that means it cannot be practiced by a layman. For a person who has heard the nature of Atman and which has impacted and made a concept in him, one who has got conceptual knowledge, he has to do samadhi. That is what the Vedanta has told him. Now it seems that it is possible only for a sannyasi. So he says the sannyasi who has given up everything, because if the mind is divided, this is not possible at all. So here, Bhikshu, we can take as an undivided mind, who has no other pullbacks, who does not have to think about his family, who does not have to think about earning money. So, sannyasi has this meaning. And by hearing, listening from a proper person, the nature of Atman, it has impacted in him and made a concept there. For him, what he has to do, he has to try for samadhi. He has to see that everything else goes off from his mind. Only Brahman remains. Even Aham Brahmasmi is not Nirvikalpa Samadhi. because nirvikalpa, that means the I as vikalpa should not remain there. So it is beyond that, and that samadhi has been prescribed. Arvuda Shaktir Ahamo Vinasha Kartum न शक्या सहसापि पंडितै ये निर्विकल्पाख्य समाधि निश्चयात् तानंतरानंत भवा हि वासना. Aham is a Arudha Shakti. Aham has gained tremendous power. Its destruction even a scholar cannot do immediately. Other than those who through Nirvikalpa Samadhi have become absolutely Nishchala. That means the mind does not move. Other than them, Ananta Bhava hi Vasana. Bhava means life together. So how many lives you have lived, we do not know. And every life has added some Vasana unto us. So infinite like are the Vasanas for all those who have not attained Nirvikalpa Samadhi. So Samadhi is essential. Aham buddhaiva mohinya yojayitva shruter shruter balat avruter balat. Aham buddhaiva mohinya yojayitva avruter balat vikshepa shakti purusham vikshepati tadguni. There is the avarana shakti of Brahman through the aham consciousness, through the consciousness of I, which is a delusion. He Avarani Shakti by force makes the Vikshepa Shakti, makes the Purusha distracted. Tad Gunai, by the gunas of Vikshepa Shakti, that means by the manifold world, the mind becomes distracted through Aham. If there is no I, then there is no distraction. Aham has become a deluding force, and due to covering of Brahman, I has become a deluding force, and it generates Vikshepa Shakti, which through the manifoldness of the world will distract the person. Vikshepa Shakti Vijayo Vishamo Vidhatum Nisheshama Varana Shakti Nivritya Bhave Drigdrishayo Sfuta Prayoja Lavad Vibhage Nashe Tada Varanamatmani च स्वभावात् निसंशयेन भवति प्रतिबंध शून्य विक्षेपणम नहीं तदा यदि चेन पुरुषार्थे. So the conquering of the vikshepa shakti is difficult so long as the avarani shakti has not finished its work. When the seer and the seen has been made as clear as the milk and water, then the avarana shakti goes away by nature. And then doubtlessly no obstruction remains, no vikshepa remains, because everything else is taken to be unreal. So the process of miracle samadhi is being told here. Samyak viveka sputabodha janyo vivajya drigdrishya padartha tattvam nati maya krutamo bandham yasmat vimuktya punarna sansruti. Bodha janyo samak viveka. When the bodha, the consciousness of Atman, becomes very clear, then the real discrimination arises. It clearly separates the seer from the seen objects, and the bondage of moha given by Maya is destroyed, And once he becomes mukta, there is no question of his coming back to transmigration. That is important because in yoga, one has always to achieve samadhi. In Vedanta, once through Nirvikal Samadhi, the knowledge has come, then state of the mind will not remain the same, but the knowledge gained in that state will remain the same. So he has become liberated, and then there is no transmigration for him. So both essential and sufficient condition is to attain Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Paravarai viveka vannir dahati avidya gahanam yashesham kim syat puna sansarnasya bijam advaita bhavam samupeshusya. So through Nirvikal Samadhi, one has got the Advaita Bhav. And by that, the Supreme Brahman and myself, Supreme Brahman and Sagun Brahman and myself, the identity between these two is the discrimination, which is like a fire. Though wrong knowledge has been in forest, but this fire burns it complete. Though wrong knowledge has become like a forest, this fire burns it completely. And so there is no seed left for transmigration for one who has already got this Advaita Bhav through Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Avaranasya nivrittir bhavati samyak padartha darshanata mithya jnana vinasha tad vikshepa janita dukkha nivritti. When one we see in Nirvikalpa Samadhi the real nature of the reality, then the covering goes away. Avarana nivritti bhavati. And the wrong knowledge is destroyed. And so, through Vikshepa Shakti, all the problems coming in our life also are destroyed. Etat tritayam drishtam samyak rajju swarupa vijnanat tasmad vastu satatvam gyatavyam bandha muktaye vidusha. Three things: Avarana, Mithya Jnana, and Vikshepa Shakti. All three, once we know the real nature, for example, once you know the real nature of the rope, then that is the real nature of the thing in itself. One should know, then the bandha becomes mukta. Once this avarana vikshepa and the anarthas go away, one becomes free. Ayogni yoga ivasat samanvayat मात्रादि रूपेण विजृंभते धी तत्कार्यमेतत् द्वितयम् यतो मृषा दृष्टं भ्रमस्वप्न मनोरथेषु ततो विकाराः प्रकृतेरहं मुखा देहावसाना विषयाश्च सर्वे क्षणेन्यथा भावितया यमीशाम् असत्त्वमात्मा तु कदापि नान्यथा. Just like the iron ball through its contact with fire, similarly, our buddhi, I consciousness, in contact with the supreme consciousness, shines as the tanmatras and all the objects. This dvitayam, this bipolarization comes, and it is seen as unreal. For example, in ordinary cases of delusion, in dream and in mental ideas. Ordinary cases of delusion is like rope in the snake. Once we know the nature of the rope, the snake goes away. In dream, we see the duality. In waking up, we know that the mind had become two. And mentally, we can imagine so many things. But when we are calm and realize that it was imagination, it goes away. Like that, due to the contact with the supreme consciousness, these things appear real, but they go away. So, all the modifications starting from eye consciousness up to the body, eye consciousness, mind, indriyas, body, and all the objects, they change from moment to moment. So they are unreal, they cannot be myself, they can never be myself. This all shines only in Nirvikala Samadhi. Once it is seen that nothing is there, then only this happens. Otherwise, only idea remains. Nitya Dvaya Khanda Chideka Rupo Buddhyadi Sakshi Sadasad Vilakshana Aham Pada Pratyay Lakshitartha Pratyak Sadananda Gana Paratma. So the Lakshartha of I comes. The Lakshartha of I is only consciousness. Nitya, Advaya, Akhanda, Chit, Ekaru. It is the witness of everything happening in our mind or in our eye consciousness. It is different from what we see as real and unreal. Actually, it is when we utter the word I, the Lakshita, the indicated meaning is that reality. That is the innermost Sadananda consciousness of congealed bliss, and that is the absolute self. Itham vipaschit sadasad vibhajya nishchitya tattvam nijabodha drishtya gyatva samatmanam akhanda bodham tebhyo vimukta swameva shamyati. So the man of knowledge divides the real and unreal and becomes sure of the real nature of the self through his own consciousness. And knowing that he himself is the Akhanda Bodha, he becomes free from everything and everything else dies down. अज्ञान हृदय ग्रंथेर निशेष विलयस्तदा समाधिना विकल्पेन यदा द्वैतात्म दर्शनम. So the word samadhi has come back here now. Yada avikalpam is nirvikalpa. Yada nirvikalpa samadhina advaitatma darshanam bhavati tada हृदय अज्ञान हृदय ग्रंथे निशेष विलय तदा भवति. When through nirvikalpa samadhi we realize the non-dual Atman, then the knot of the heart, which is the wrong knowledge, totally is destroyed. Up to that we had read. But we reread because Samadhi starts at 341 and 353 Samadhi has reoccurred. Now we continue. Tvam aham idam ati. Tvam aham idam iti iyam kalpana. Tvam aham idam iti iyam kalpana buddhidoshat प्रभवति परमात्मनि अद्वये निर्विशेषे प्रविलसति समाधौ अस्य सर्वो विकल्पो विलयनम उपगच्छेद वस्तु तत्वावधृत्या. What is our idea? This is I, this is you, and this is it. That means I, you, and an object outside. These are only ideas. Due to the defect in our I consciousness, these are the ideas. The real nature of Paramatma, which is Nirvishesha, in that these ideas come. Due to our mistake of I consciousness produces all these ideas. But where are they occurring? There is only one reality. So in that reality, the I consciousness produces these ideas. But once one attains Nirvikalpa Samadhi, wherever the word Samadhi has come here, it is equivalent of Nirvikalpa Samadhi only. So when one attains Nirvikalpa Samadhi, then all these vikalpas, all these different ideas, Vilayan upagachet. They undergo dissolution. Vastu tattva. Because we know now the real nature of the self, pravilasati samadho. In the state of samadhi, it, that Atma Tattva manifests itself. And so all these are dissolved. Shanto Danta Paramaparata Shanti Yukta Samadhim Kurvan Nityam Kaleti Yati Swasya Sarvatma Bhavam Ena Vidya Timira Janitan Sadhu Dagdva Vikalpan Brahma Krutya Nivasati Sukam Nishkriyo Nirvikalpaha. Through Shama, Dhamma, Uparati, we have discussed these words already. Shanti means remaining unprovoked, even in spite of provocation. Through this, we are getting samadhi. And regularly, we are trying to practice this only. In that samadhi, for the Vidwan, Sarvatma Bhavam Kalayati. He experiences the Sarvatma Bhav. One who has experienced, then the darkness of avidya, from that, whatever has come is completely burned. All the vikalpas, all the modifications are born out of avidya timira, they are completely burned. And the person now lives as Brahman itself. The person is no more as this I consciousness. He lives as Brahman itself, Brahma Krutya. He lives in the form of Brahman. He lives blessed always. He is without any action because there is no subject or object division in him. Nirvikalpa. He has no other alternative. He himself has become one without a second. So through Samadhi, this is what happens. Now a very, very important shloka, the central shloka in this is coming. Samahitaye pravilapya vayam shrotradi cheta samaham chidatmani te eva mukta bhavapasha bandai nanye tu paroksha katha vinayana. I referred that day to some ashrama who tell that there is no meditation, no samadhi, no anubhava. You hear and it becomes Vedanti. To hit at them, this shloka has come. There is a tika by one Udasi Babaji on Vivek Chudamani. I didn't bring that with me. He has referred to Vruddhoktim, an old quotation in relation to this shloka. First, let me tell the shloka meaning, then I will tell the meaning of that old quotation. Samahitaye, through Nirvikalpa Samadhi, those. Vayam Pravilapya. The external world has vanished in our ears, in our organs. All the organs have vanished in our mind. And our mind with the I consciousness has vanished in the consciousness which is Atman. All this happens through Samadhi. Te eva mukta bhava pasha vandai. The samsara is like a pasha and it is a bondage. These people only are mukta. Up to this is all right. But categorically Shankar wants to tell, Nane tu, paroksha katha vidayana. Those who talk about Brahman, very, very indirect knowledge has come to them. Paroksha katha. That means indirect talk. Those who indulge in indirect talk, they cannot be mukta. Now what happens to them actually? That is described by Udasi Babaji. I don't remember the shloka, I will tell you the meaning. We are standing near a tree, and below the tree there is a pond, and there are fruits at the top of the tree. What we see is the reflection of those fruits in the pond. And if you dance with joy that you have eaten the mangoes, that is what the Udasi Baba says. This is the state of affairs of Paroksha Katha Vidayana. Those who talk about Brahman with an indirect knowledge, their state is like this, seeing the reflection of the mangoes which are at the top of the tree, seeing the reflection, we shout with joy and clap and congratulate ourselves that we have eaten the mangoes. Right? That means an intellectual pleasure comes by understanding Vedanta. And that has no place in our life. That has to be abandoned. As Shankar is telling, we have to constantly try for Nirvikalpa Samadhi. And in Nirvikalpa Samadhi, when the world vanishes into organs, organs into mind, mind into I consciousness, and I consciousness into the supreme consciousness, they alone are free. Others who are talking with an indirect knowledge, they can never be free. And for that, the Udasi Baba has brought a shloka, and he says Vruddhokti, old shloka. And the old shloka has told what I told now. Seeing the reflection of mangoes in the pond, if we dance that we have eaten mangoes, that is the state of affairs of everybody who is talking with indirect knowledge. Now you have to judge for yourself. Upadhi Vedat Swayameva Vidyate Chopadya Pohe Swayameva Kevala Tasmad Upader Vilaya Ye Vidwan Vaset Sada Kalpa Samadhi Nishtaya Akalpa, Avikalpa, Nirvikalpa, meaning the same thing. Upadhi Veda, that means my body is different from your body. My mind is different from your mind. Body or mind is not my reality, but they appear as my reality. This is the meaning of Upadhi. So my Upadhis are different from your Upadhi. So due to difference of Upadhis, we ourselves make difference between ourselves. Suppose these Upadhis had gone from our consciousness. One does not destroy the body. One destroys the body consciousness. So suppose all the difference of the Upadhis has vanished, then we remain one without a second. Therefore, the man of knowledge should always try for the dissolution of the Upadhis through his steadfastness in Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Always he should try for that Nirvikalpa Samadhi steadfastly, so long as all the difference does not vanish. Okay. Example is giving by constant thought, constant feeling. One should try for a constant feeling. Sati sakto naro yati sadbhavam hi ekaništaya कीटको भ्रमरम ध्यायन भ्रमरत्वाय kalpate. There is an insect which is afraid of the bee. Through the fear, it continuously thinks of the bee. By this continuity of thought, he becomes bee itself. That is the force of continuity of thought. So, Sati Sakto, one who is attached to reality, one who is constantly dwelling upon the reality, by his one-pointedness, he becomes that reality. He is that reality, so he regains that nature by continuous thinking of that reality. Priyantarasaktim apasya kitako dhayan alitvam He alibhavam ruchyati tathaiva yogi paramatma tattvam dhyatva samayati tadeka nishtaya. That insect does not do any other action. He only constantly thinks of the bee. Because of fear, he leaves every other action and constantly thinks of that bee only and becomes bee. So, yogi, the sadhaka, Paramatma Tattvam, the real nature of the self, has to meditate Ekanishta by continuous steadfastness. He becomes that only. Thereby, the force of thought is being told that if he can continuously try for this Nirvikal Samadhi, then he will become that very Brahman. Ativa Sukshmam Paramatma Tattvam na Sura Drishtya Pratipattam Arhati Samadhinatyanta Susukshma Vrutya Jnatavyam Arir Atishuddha Buddhivi. The Paramatma Tattva is Atyanta Sukshma. That means which we cannot see by Indriyas, we cannot see by mind, we cannot see by eye consciousness. So Atyanta Sukshma. That is the Paramatma Tattva. And we have a Sthura Drishti. With our organs, we are looking at the world. We can never get that. So long as we continue to look at the world through our organs, we can never get that because it is not available to the organs or the mind or the eye consciousness. Then what happens? If we are practicing samadhi, then our vritti, the function of the mind, becomes very, very subtle. We do not remain attached to our senses or to the mind itself or to our eye consciousness. That happens if we are practicing samadhi. If the mind or the eye consciousness become absolutely pure, and through that, Arya, the noble people should know the reality. Noble people should know the reality by absolutely pure mind. When the feeling becomes very, very subtle, by going beyond all this through samadhi, in that way only Brahman can be realized. यथा सुवर्णं पटुपाकशोधितं त्यक्त्वा मलं स्वात्मगुणं समृच्छति तथा मनः सत्वरजस्तमोमलं ध्यानेन संत्यज्य समेति तत्त्वम्. Dhyana is the attempt for Nirvikal Samadhi. Gold has some impurity. We burn it in fire. Impurity goes away and it remains itself. It regains its own qualities of shining. Similarly, Sattva, Raja and Tama are all impurities in the mind. Through meditation on Brahman, not through any other meditation. Through meditation on Brahman, then all these are gone. The impurities due to Sattva, Rajas and Tamas are all gone, and then he realizes the reality. So repeatedly he is telling the process of Nirvikala Samadhi, how it removes all the impurities, how it makes us reach the Brahman. Nirantara vashat taditham pakvam mano brahmani liyate yada tada samadhi savikalpa varjita swato devananda rasanubhavaka. Nirantara abhyasa vashat, by constancy of practice, gapless practice. Now in yoga, this gapless practice has to continue till the day. Here, gapless practice has to continue till we get Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Itham Pakvam Mano. The mind becomes ripened. Through the gapless practice, the mind becomes ripened and dissolves into Brahman. When it dissolves into Brahman, then that Samadhi has no vikalpa. That means nothing remains other than Brahman. Even I do not remain, world does not remain. So savikalpa varjita, without any vikalpa it remains. Then that gives us the experience itself. Non-dual bliss, the source of non-dual bliss. Advaya Ananda Rasa Anubhavaka. Anubhavaka means it generates that experience in us. And we experience the source of bliss, which is Brahman, which is non-dual. So, Nirantar Abhyas till we get the Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Samadhina Nena Samasta Vasana Granthir Vinasho Kila Karma Nasha Antarbhahi Sarvatayeva Sarvada Swarupachit Spurti Ayatnata Syat. By this Samadhi, all the desires and impressions and the knots will get destroyed. Simultaneously, all our karma phalas which are sanchita, when the I consciousness is lost, there is no foothold for the karmas and they also will be burned. Then inside and outside always will be Swarupa Vispurti. We'll only be experiencing our own real nature inside and outside. That means see the same reality in us, in outside, ayatnata, effortlessly. No further effort will be necessary. One who through samadhi has gone there, then always in his life effortlessly he sees inside and outside the same reality. Another very important shloka, very, very important shloka, as a reply to the people who say there is no dhyana. Yute shatagunam vidyat mananam mananadapi nididhyasam laksha gunam anantam nirvikalpakam. Very important. Compared to Shravana, Manana has 100 times power. Manana has 100 times power compared to Shravana. And compared to Manana, Nididhyasana has 1 lakh times power. 1 lakh in the modern terminology will be 0.1 million. 1,000, 10,000 or 100,000. 100,000 times superior to Manana is Nididhyasana. The Nididhyasana is the effort for Nirvikal Samadhi. Now, how the formula proceeds? Ananta. So these are comparatives. Shravana, 100 times superior is Manana, 100,000 times superior is Nididhyasana, and uncomparatively superior is Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Infinite. Infinite can never fit in any chart. So how beautifully Shankara explained this. Shravana results in conceptual knowledge. Manana makes it settled in our consciousness, so it is 100 times. It becomes settled in our thoughts. And through the constant Nididhyasana, 1 lakh times, that means it has entered our consciousness. And it results into Nirvikala Samadhi, which is uncomparable, because it destroys ignorance forever. So, whether there is no Nididhyasana or Dhyana or Samadhi, these are some of the shlokas very potent in Viveka Chudamani. Some people have brought a book of 108 selected shlokas from Viveka Chudamani. And in the preface, they write that though every shloka of Viveka Chudamani is beautiful, there is thematic repetition. So we have selected 100 shlokas which cover all the topics. This is a delusion. Reading that preface, if people believe that, is dhyana not a topic? Is samadhi not a topic? Is direct experience not a topic? I made an effort in those days. 108 shlokas from Viveka Chudamani. dealing exclusively with Dhyan, Samadhi and Anubhav. Anyway, so here he has told very clearly, one thing he has told long back, that without the Aparuksha Anubhav, you cannot have Mukti. Here he told that without Nirvikal Samadhi, you cannot have Mukti. And here he tells infinite times is the effect of Nirvikal Samadhi. He explains now, explains. Nirvikalpa Samadhina, Nirvikalpa Samadhina Sputam, Brahma Tattvam Avagamyate Dhruvam, Nanyatha Chalataya Manogate, Pratyantara Vimishritam Bhavet. Here we should contrast a little from the yoga sadhana. Similar is not same. In yoga sadhana, we are told yoga chitta vritti nirodha, tada drashtu sarupa avasthanam, vritti sarupyam itaratra. That means always we should remove any vritti from the chitta. At that point, we see we stay as our real nature. Otherwise, it becomes mixed with vrittis. So that is why we practice constantly till the end. Here, till we get Nirvikal Samadhi, the other vrittis, Pratyayantar Vimishrito Bhave. Pratyayantar. My direct experience is called Pratyaya. What is my Pratyaya? I see you. That is my Pratyaya. I see, feel, touch, etc. Imagine. That is my Pratyaya. Now consciousness is always there. Without that, there is no Pratyaya. But that consciousness gets mixed with this Pratyaya of mine. When the mind is moving. When the mind is moving, then according to the movement of the mind, a new pratyaya arises, and in that pratyaya, my reality gets mixed. How long? So long as in Nirvikalpa Samadhi, Brahma Tattvam Dhruvam Amagam Sputam Avagamyate. In Nirvikalpa Samadhi, clear and constant realization or understanding or knowledge of Brahma Tattva happens. Once that happened, then there is no Vritti Sarupya. Till that happens, Vritti Sarupya is there. So that is the way to read this shloka. Till we get that Nirvikal Samadhi, Vritti Sarupya is there. When we get Nirvikal Samadhi, there is no chance of Vritti Sarupya as told. Then what happens? Kenopanishad it is described. Pratibodha Viditam Matam. Pratibodha Viditam. I see you. But within that, there will be Brahman as I, Brahman as you, Brahman is he. That will be the. I will give an example, then you understand best. Sri Ramakrishna's great disciple, Swami Brahmananda. When he was about to give up his body, the Sevak understood that Maharaj may give up the body now. And so, as our tradition goes, he brought Thakur's Charanamrita. And he said, Maharaj, please open your mouth. I'll put Charanamrita in your mouth. Maharaj opened the mouth. But what he said, put Brahman in Brahman. So the inner consciousness has become so clear when he is about to give up the body. At that point, when he is told that Maharaj, open your mouth, I will put Charanamrita in that, he opened the mouth. But he says, put Brahman in Brahman. So this mouth is Brahman, Charanamrita is Brahman, that becomes the consciousness through Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Otherwise, Vritti Sarupya, that is this is that is it, aham idam ityam idam. Atah, conclusion of this topic. Atah samadhasva yatendriyasan nirantaram shantamana pratichi vidvamsaya dhvantamana dividyaya Kritam sadekatva vilokanena. Control your indriyas, pacify your mind, go inside, gaplessly attain samadhi, the beginningless wrong knowledge, destroy that. Bhanta, the darkness of the beginningless wrong knowledge will be destroyed because you are seeing the ekatva, because you are seeing the identity between everything. So this wrong knowledge will be destroyed. Here that through Nirvikal Samadhi to attain in various ways the process of Nirvikal Samadhi and the result, and not only result, but without that it cannot happen. This categorical statement has been described, as we said, from Shloka 341 up to 366. Now, there is a tall talk. The question comes where to start. So the ideal is being shown. Without that, nothing can happen is shown. But one has to come back to where he is. And so, after inspiring us, showing us the ideal, Shankar now comes back to where we are and how to start the practice aiming at that is being described now. That is the connection. That is not up and down. The highest point is described. It is emphasized. And then we are brought back to earth as it were, and how to start is being described now. योगस्य प्रथमद्वारं वाङ्निरोधो अपरिग्रह निराशा च निरीहा च नित्यम एकांतशीलता. योगस्य प्रथमद्वारं, the first door, the first step of yoga. Yoga means tat prapti upaya. Yoga does not mean Patanjali yoga. Yoga means tat prapti upaya. Upaya of prapti of knowledge through Nirvikala Samadhi. First, what is the first step? One nirodho. Control your speech. A great thing is being told. Great thing is being told. Our distractions come maximum through our topicless talk. My teachers told me, according to Thakur, that if Kamini Kanchan is the enemy number of man, enemy number one, the enemy number two is gossip. In Bengali we say Adda. Sadhaka sitting together, if you ask after half an hour where it started, they cannot tell. The nature of these talks are described as speakers many, topic any. And that is the highest distraction. So, if we want knowledge through Nirvikala Samadhi, the first step is stop this. Avoid this, stop this. So, one Nirodha is the first step. Control your speech. How to control? Gita has told us. Anudvegakaram vakyam satyam priya hitam chayat swadhyaya bhasanam chaiva tapa vangmaya muchyate. Speak only, first of all. Speak only if it is beneficial to you or to the person you are speaking. Hitam. And it should be true. It should be endearingly told. And it should not produce any excitation. Follow these criteria for your speech. Then, otherwise, one nirodha, don't talk where you can remain. They say, if speech is silver, silence is golden. So, one nirodha is the first. So he has brought us back to earth now, and he has found that we indulge in gossip And so he is telling that that is the first step. Then aparigraha. Aparigraha has two meanings. Collection of things not necessary in life. Second meaning is accepting free gifts. What happens by accepting free gifts? I remember one classical example. These days we see it everywhere. Immediately after Indian independence, there was a rich businessman, Mundada, and he gifted one jeep to every minister and people in important position. Gifted, just take this jeep. And then started getting work done as he willed. Our first finance minister, T.T. Krishnamachari, had to resign. First High Commissioner to London, V.K. Krishna Menon, blot came on him also. Simply because they received a gift from Mother. I will tell you another classic example. Our own sadhus, because they are so free in mind. I remember one beautiful incident. Today in Mangalore, there is a sadhu, retired sadhu, Purna Kamananda. He was in Mumbai and he was posted to Mauritius. Now, in foreign countries, it is difficult to color our clothes every time. So, two devotees, rich devotees, they gifted him two colored shirts, two shirts of colored cloth. And because he had to go to Mauritius, he accepted. Unfortunately, he could not stay long in Mauritius. After 6 months, he came back. Then he came back and he was in Mumbai. These devotees approached him with blank cassettes. They were the day of cassettes. And he was a very good singer. So Maharaj, please sing some bhajanas and record it for us. Thing is very simple, ordinary, but when they went away, Purna Kamanji is telling us, I had accepted the shirt, so I will have to sing. I had accepted the shirt, so I will have to sing. This obligation comes by accepting free gifts. This obligation. Because of a sadhu and clean mind, he expressed it. My Guru used to say, if you accept free gifts, the mind becomes mortgaged to that person. And the second meaning, if you go to a rich man's house, in the drawing room, below the glass case, hundreds of things are collected which are never used in life. So reduce your needs. That is the other meaning. So one Nirod, first, aparigraha, second, nirasha. Give up desires and hopes. Give up desires and hopes. Niriha. Then give up your activity. When you have one Nirodha, Aparigraha, Nirasha, then you will follow, your activities will stop. Then regularly go to a secluded spot. Ekanta Shilata. Develop a habit of going to a secluded spot. There only you can contemplate. Sri Ramakrishna has said, if you want to get butter or ghee from milk, you have to put that milk to make it curd in a secluded place. And only when it is curd, then you can churn it also in a secluded place, then the butter will come out. So, in the next shloka, which we will read tomorrow, this Ekanta Shilata, the further progress, the advantage of Ekanta Shilata and the further progress shall be described. So today we went back to repeat the shlokas on Nirvikalpa Samadhi, and then coming back to earth, we saw what is the beginning of sadhana. Van Nirodha, Aparigraha, Nirasha, Niriha, and Nityam Ekanta Shilata. That he described as the first step of sadhana, and slowly we shall rise, and through that Ekanta Shilata, we will gain our real nature that will be described tomorrow. So we read up to Shloka 367 today. Apparently, progress of 14 shlokas, not bad. Actually, from 341 we read everything. So 27 shlokas, not bad. Om Sarva Vedanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmyam. Om Shanti Shanti Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanam.